would like to ask you a question. What does spirituality mean to you? Often when we think of spirituality, we envision meditation, mindfulness, yoga even. We often interpret spirituality as an individual journey or path of realization. In other words, as a consideration of what is happening within you. But how does spiritual mindset interplay with the connections we make with others? Is it truly just a concern of the individual? I believe it is equally, if not more, enriching in day-to-day life when we bring a spiritually driven mindset with us in our social interactions. There are many different branches of philosophies pertaining to spirituality, but in its simplest sense, spirituality is the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to the material or physical things. I believe in the philosophy that we all are connected by one higher consciousness, and it has opened myself up to trusting and relating to others. This is because social connections are an integral part of our life and important for our sense of worth, belonging, and overall life quality. Multiple studies in psychology have highlighted the importance that a meaningful network has in our lives, in our social life, in our mental health, everything. And thus, this keyword is brought up, network. We are often told to network in a professional context, to strategically build connections, to better our career prospects, find new opportunities, etc. However, it is easy to get caught up in the stress of networking. Therefore, I propose, based on my own experience, an approach to build meaningful connections in your life. Today, I hope to share with you all how a spiritual mindset has spurred my ability to create genuine connections that have enhanced my quality of life and helped me pursue and achieve things that seem like a distant dream. My name is Meeta Joshi. I am a coach, a former project engineer, and a higher educational television producer. 30 years ago, I moved to UK. And I faced the challenge of networking in a completely new environment and changing life circumstances, but was able to thrive thanks to my spiritual approach to networking. Now I feel fulfilled with working with charities, sitting on the board of trustees, and acting as a non-executive director, and being a chaplain at the University of Surrey and also at Epsom College. And at times when opportunities arise, I speak on STEM even at the Houses of Parliament in the UK. Growing up in India, the reality of my life was largely one of acceptance, sharing, and belonging with people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, races, religions, and social statuses. In part, this was driven by the highly open nature of my family, with whom we would travel around the country and make friends with everyone. This was the first way I saw how enriching it can be to interact with others from a place of genuine interest and trust without bias or ulterior motive. Throughout my professional career, the belief that there is a higher consciousness that we all are connected to has instilled my trust in my interactions with new people. The reason I consider trust as an important aspect when we network is because time and time again, I have seen how through my genuine interest openness, and trust towards others, I have made connections that have enriched my life professionally and personally. For example, as a production assistant at Educational Media Research Center in India, I was the first employee to be able to get a written permission to film at the marble temples of Dilwara, a 10th, 11th century World UNESCO Heritage Site with beautiful marble sculptures and carving. Similarly, as a project engineer at Ericsson, while I was managing multi-million-pound projects, I was able to engage in quality, authentic interactions with the managers at the board level, and as a result was given the opportunity to travel as part of my work to Finland, several times to Sweden, few times to Netherlands, and once to USA. It is this inside-out approach that I adopted that has brought so much of possibility and adventure to my life. If I may now introduce a few spiritual concepts and the way in which they can enrich the connections one can make in life. The first is Spandana. The philosophy of Spandana teaches how we are like waves in the universe, that is the ocean. Across moments, waves change and intertwine, crossover, and join. In its moment, a wave is a feature, an entity of its own, yet overall, it is part and parcel of the ocean. Like that, we are each our own entity, our own soul people as different waves in the ocean. This interpretation of how we relate to others has helped me garner genuine interest towards the new people I meet and overcome any potential anxiety that may inhibit myself from expressing myself authentically. It has enabled me to diminish prejudices and fears that stem from the material parameters such as professional status, and rather connect with others on an equal footing, soul to soul. It makes you more comfortable and open to letting your authentic whole self radiate outwards, which will only help you, especially when we are talking to higher ups, as society often labels people as better than us because of their social status, or people in positions of authority may make us feel uptight and stiff. By being comfortable, you are able to step out of the shadows and walls that have made you feel like you needed to hide yourself, especially in the professional setting. Another spiritual concept that has helped me to unlock connections that are intrinsically fulfilling, authentic, rooted in trust and mutual respect, and bursting with potential for long-lasting relationship, not just for my career, but for life overall, is Antahakarana, or the inner mechanism of our mind and consciousness. According to this Vedic conceptualization, our mind has 4 levels of consciousness. The first level is of experiencing life through our 5 senses, which is touch, sight, hearing, smell, speech. And this is how we gather our experiences. And then we store these experiences in a database, which is called Chitta, a memory database. We access that database for our new experiences when we again use our 5 senses. But we need to be careful because the previous experience might create a prejudice because of what we had experienced before. But then comes the next level, which is called self or ego, or ahankara. The level of ego, which is that which lets us decide whether we like things or not. And it gives us our identity. But you need to be careful that we don't become more egotist. Then finally comes the last level, which I consider most important, the level of intellect or buddhi, which gives us the ability to discriminate between pride and prejudice, our ego and our stored experiences. Because this is the level which leads us to the superconsciousness, the higher consciousness, which connects with the rest of the world. So networking the intellect allows you to bounce back from any potential disappointment. It lets you be resilient from any setback because it allows you to be compassionate and empathetic towards others, because you then consider everyone as equal as you, having their own different experiences. And finally, a core, simple, yet so powerful spiritual mindset is that of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which translates to the whole world. And everything and one within it is a family. Like the way in which we form waves in the large ocean, this is another way of putting across the same idea. The idea that the world is a family helps us feel comfortable and trust others without being skeptical in our approach. Of course, there are many rational reasons why we are wary of others. But this again can lead you to closing up and limiting potential opportunities, especially in professional contexts. Just as flowers have different colors, fragrances, fruits have different tastes, everyone is different. So maintaining that holistic view fosters genuine inquisitivity in those around you, and will help, therefore, breed more meaningful conversations and connections. You never know who you may meet next and where. An open, curious, yet cautious, of course, mindset to connections for me has unlocked with a spiritual approach. A couple of decades ago, on my way back from Helsinki to London Heathrow Airport, luckily, my ticket had got upgraded to business class, and I started chatting with the person sitting next to me, who appeared to be an ordinary, humble-hearted, unassuming fellow traveler. I talked about everything about my experience of Finland, which was very good. The people, the culture, reindeer, and one difficult part was getting vegetarian meal, because every meal which I asked as vegetarian meal came with fish, and I had to ask to take the fish away. And he was talking about his potential journey to London. I was also excited to talk about how I was perhaps the first project engineer to have flown my team from Ericsson and also inspired Vodafone, our customer, to send their senior management team for an external audit and managed to close that deal successfully. When the plane landed, just before that, we exchanged our business cards. And I realized I was talking to someone very higher up. He was one of the CEOs of Nokia. I apologized to him that my business card was very basic. I was just a project engineer. And he said, you know, if you want a better role, you know where to go, talk to me. Well, I did not explore that as things changed in my personal life. I had other responsibilities and my health changed as well, and I wanted to stick to Ericsson. Perhaps if I had pursued, I might have been involved in setting up networks on the moon, as Nokia is doing with NASA today. So, life is short. We all are limited editions. So enjoy every moment when you meet a new person. Remember, I won't be there after the next 50 years. Try to gel with people. Metaphorically, that might mean that you might have to wear a different hat. And that may mean that you have to allow that person into your mental space so that you resonate with the person. I won't be there in next 50 years, and many of you won't be there in next 100 years. So live it to the fullest. Live your life to the fullest. Enrich your life by networking from your heart. Be authentic. Trust others with caution. Have a quality dialogue. Be open to inviting others in your mental space. Be curious to know their stories. Everyone has got their own wonderful story. They want to be heard. They want to feel important. Network and make your life an awesome adventure. Each one of us has a special role in making the world a better place. Be humble, be human, be compassionate, and try to make difference in the lives of others. Take some time out for others. Give some quality time. Your greatness is not in what you have, but what you give. Give your being. Be happy in other people's happiness. If someone is happy because of you, that is real happiness. Happy networking.